All right, guys, we just finished a class today, and I have to talk about the results of this. I was just recently teaching the real estate agents in Greater Vancouver all about how they need to use AI and why they need to be using AI. And what actually happened during the class was kind of wild to me. Here's the thing when it comes to a lot of real estate agents. A lot of real estate agents get into this business for two words: freedom and flexibility. And ultimately, that's why they end up failing. They fail because in this business, there's not really any such thing as freedom and flexibility. However, if agents start leveraging artificial intelligence at a high level, they can actually start to buy back their time. That's what's actually going to make a lot of real estate agents dangerous out there. Why is that? One, because AI actually gives you freedom and flexibility. AI is actually going to allow you to start to not have to work late. If you're a solo agent right now and you're actually producing, there's probably a lot of situations right now where you are probably, let's just say, working late into the evening. You're handling paperwork, setting up showings. Maybe some of you guys even have another part time job. That becomes very, very difficult if you guys are actively trying to do this business while trying to spend time with your family, your friends, everything else like that. AI is where you will become dangerous because you can actually start to hand off tasks in order to start to buy back that time and really get that freedom and flexibility in your business. So, why is it so important for us to be learning it then? Because I find a lot of agents are still shying away from learning it. In fact, when I asked the class today, how many of you guys are still using ChatGPT like it's Google? A majority of the hands came up. And that's the scary thing because a lot of agents, a lot of people, I should say, in general, they're very, what should I say? They want everything at their fingertips. They want it instantly. We're instant gratification business. We're an instant gratification world now, which is kind of crazy. So suddenly, when people start using AI and they don't get the immediate response that they're looking for, such as they make a prompt, they put it out there and it gives a generic answer. They go, AI doesn't work. And so they use it like Google, right? They go into Google and they do quick searches, they get a quick answer, they move on. And that's the type of agent right now that will get left behind in the world we live in. You see, AI is the equalizer, and I talked about it in yesterday's live stream. AI is going to be the equalizer in business. What do I mean by the equalizer? Well, here's the thing. You think about large teams out there that you've been competing with. Our team is a fairly large team. We've got several agents. We also have full-time admin. That's always been our secret weapon against the smaller agents. You see, we have a full team in the back end to help you. You've got listing coordinators, transaction coordinators, marketing team, everything. Suddenly now with AI, you can have a marketing coordinator, a listing coordinator, a full marketing team in your pocket ready to go for you, taking on tasks that allow you to focus on exactly what you need to do to sell more real estate. And that is lead generation, going on appointments, negotiating contracts, taking listings, working with buyers, and script and role play. Even the script and role play, I kind of showed a kind of a cool hack that we could do with AI to actually use AI to become your your script and role play partner. So this is why I think that more and more agents really need to start actually sitting down and spending time learning AI. Now, in the class, I'm going to talk about, in the class I talked about, and I'm going to share it with you guys today, some of the skills that you can start to incorporate now into your into learning artificial intelligence. The first one is understanding the right tool for the right job. You see, most agents right now, they downloaded ChatGPT. Maybe they're using Gemini because someone told them that it's attached to Google and that's probably going to be better for them. But at the end of the day, one tool is not going to be enough. Not if you really want to master artificial intelligence. You see, you need to use the right tool for the right job. So there's four main AI or LLM programs out there. There's several others, but there's at least four that are well known that I'm going to cover right now for you guys. Number one is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not necessarily the best at everything, but one thing it's really good at is it is a great brainstorming tool. That's what I use ChatGPT for, is to make sure that I use it to brainstorm. I sit and I have conversations with it, such as coming up with ideas for these 7 days that I'm going live with you guys tonight. So I sat there and said, hey, I need to come up with ideas. It ideates, it asks questions. What do you want to accomplish? What have you already done? It is really good at being that brainstorming partner for you. Okay. Claude. We've all heard about it. It's become a very popular site right now. Claude is really good at writing. And it's really good at writing to make it sound like you, like who you are. So when you're using Claude, this is the one that's going to start to do your emails if you're creating email lists, your proposals, presentations, everything like that. Claude is my number one go-to when it comes to actually writing stuff. So I brainstorm with ChatGPT and I use Claude to help me actually write it. From there, there's Grok. Now, I know a lot of people probably use Grok a little bit on the side here and there. If you're a Tesla driver, you use Grok because it's integrated in Tesla. And Grok is actually really good to give you up-to-date news. Why do I say that? Well, first and foremost, it's not going to have any media biases. It's not pulling from the open internet. It's pulling from X, formerly Twitter. And what you have there is everyone else's opinions on there, which is fantastic. Because if you want to start thinking about content, you want to start thinking about reporting on things, if you want to make like a podcast or you want to create some content around something, Grok is really good at giving you the unfiltered, unbiased opinions of what your clients and what everyone is talking about. So that's what I use Claude for, or sorry, not Claude, Grok. That's what I use Grok for. So that way I can get all the information I need, what buyers and sellers are actually talking about in the market today. And then I can use that to start creating content around exactly what they're actually talking about. And then the final one is obviously Gemini. Gemini is great for long analysis. Like, for example, as a real estate agent, especially here in BC, we have to review strata documents. And strata documents are extremely long and boring. In fact, I just downloaded a package of strata docs for one of our listings. It's over 2,000 pages. That is a long read. And we as real estate agents, we used to do that all the time. We have to do that. Well, think about this. Could you use something like Gemini, which is really good for analyzing large documents like that? And maybe you could run it through there and have it read, give it what you're looking for in those strata documents, and it can pull out all the important information, create a summary for you to review and send to your buyers, noting all the different pages that you have to then check out. This is going to be a powerful thing for agents to really understand how to maximize it. Now, it's going to take some practice and proper prompting so that way you don't miss any information. But if you can master that skill, maybe that's one way that you could cut a ton of time down, buy back some of your life in this business, and actually start to enjoy some of the freedom and flexibility. Gemini is also good for the fact that it is integrated into Google Workspace. I mean, the amount of times it's telling me how to fix my emails now, I can prompt it to create a Google form or something else like that. Honestly, like it is a phenomenal tool. And not only that, it's Nano Banana for creating videos and photos and everything else like that. Phenomenal. So again, there's a different tool for different jobs. It's going to be important for you guys to use those, right? Don't just focus on one AI platform. Start to spread yourself out. You can't build a house with hammers alone. You need other tools in your toolbox. Then the other thing that we talked about in today's class was understanding proper prompting. You see, most people, when they're on AI, they're still just pushing the question onto AI and hoping for a good answer. Then they kind of get a little frustrated when they don't get the answer that they're actually looking for, right? I see it all the time within my own organization when they go, well, I asked ChatGPT, but I didn't really get the answer I wanted, so I had to do it myself. But then they get frustrated and they don't understand why I am so much more efficient and faster and I'm using AI in my business. The reason is because they haven't learned to prompt properly. They're pushing it out there with no context and they're getting generic answers back. And this is where that instant gratification that our world lives in tends to be a little bit of an issue that I find for a lot of people because they expect that immediate answer. They're expecting to get an instant response back from AI. So here's what you need to do. You have to, one, be a little bit more patient and understand that you need to do a pull prompt. You need to have AI actually pull the information out of you. What does that mean? So it's a technique called reverse prompting. Essentially, you give the AI the task you're hoping to accomplish, you give it a role, and then lastly, you ask it to ask you questions. In fact, that means that AI is actually prompting you. It's actually going to sit there and ask you all the questions it needs so that it can get the context around what you're trying to accomplish for the task that you've given it. So it sounds more like you, it acts more like you, and it gives you the results you actually want. If you can learn this skill and you spend an extra 30 seconds to a minute giving it the proper prompt, suddenly that could save you 10 to 15 minutes on the back end long term, understanding proper prompting. Further into that, in the class, we talked about how to set up a master prompt and a digital brain. This is where we start really hitting the rubber, where rubber really hits the road, where AI starts really acting and sounding like you. Essentially, a master prompt is anything in your business can have that master prompt that you use at the beginning of any prompt. It could be a PDF, could be a copy and paste, and it will basically make AI sound like you every single time for the task that you're looking to do. As the director of sales for the Kelly Fry team, I have a master prompt that I have set up that I use anytime I want to do anything in that role. I put the PDF in and then I prompt what I need. That PDF becomes the guide, so it sounds exactly like me and what I'm looking for. And then again, the biggest issue is a lot of people want to know, well, what happens if I've been using ChatGPT for the last several years and now I want to move over to Claude? Well, how do I transfer all that data? And that's where your digital brain comes in. The digital brain is essentially a way for you to pull all of that data from one source and give it to multiple sources so they all act and sound just like you, but within the tool context that you're using it for. To create a digital brain, same thing. You go into whichever LLM you were using before and say, hey, I want you to pull out all the core information about what we talked about, all our conversations, how I talked, all the tones, everything like that. I also get it to analyze a few of my emails from colleagues, from clients, from whatever. So it sees the tone of how I write. I screenshot several text conversations, give it to AI as well. I even have it analyze my LinkedIn for the position I'm in, and it comes up with a digital brain prompt under 1,000 words that I can use to transfer across any other AI platform and then make sure it saves those to memory. So when I'm now doing a gem where I've been using ChatGPT for the longest time, that's how I'm able to then make it sound like me across all the platforms. Finally, we talked about AI as a system. And this is where it absolutely gets real for agents who want to actually replace themselves and buy back their time. Right now, just with 3 tasks alone, we're saving on our team nearly 5 hours a week. And that's just like the beginning for us right now. 5 hours a week in administrative tasks that normally take forever for us to do. And now suddenly we can do it in a matter of minutes. What we get in terms of savings is we are using Manus AI. Manus is allowing us to basically for $40 start to pay AI to do all these tasks for us that would normally cost us $25 an hour. So the cost savings over a year compared to what we've actually paid for in terms of AI is around $6,500 in savings a year at an admin with those 5 hours at $25 an hour. So when you start to compound all these skills and understanding where AI can actually save you money, AI becomes an incredible, incredible way that you can actually get that freedom and flexibility that you craved when you entered into this business versus those agents who don't adopt AI and they continue to do all the work themselves. You are going to have the time to go lead generate more, take more listings, work with more buyers, and eventually live a life so unreal, it's almost unbelievable. Guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is kind of a recap from yesterday, as well as expanding on the class that I just taught today and some of the skills. If you have other questions about artificial intelligence and how it can be incorporated into your business, drop it in the comments below. I'm happy to answer those with you guys. In the meantime, if you haven't already done so, like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another live stream.